Yeah, let's be having you. Where are you? She was saying that the team needed a 12th man. Kind of feels like Norwich could have done with a 12th man a little bit in recent seasons. But you know what, Fletch, if Norwich are destined to summon an unlikely great escape this campaign, of course they need to get their skates on, but it's not mathematically impossible. 3 times in the Premier League era already, a team has been in a worse position than Norwich are right now, and they've managed to stay up. So that's almost the agony, the hope that kills you. 7 points adrift of safety, 27 games played. It's not impossible, but it's going to be very, very difficult. Funny enough, they'll look at tonight's opposition, and Leicester City, who the year before they won the Premier League under Claudio Ranieri, they had a great escape themselves, and they managed under Nigel Pearson to avoid the drop. And from this stage of the season to the end, Leicester managed to win 7 games that year. It is possible, Mark Swarcher, but it ain't going to be easy.
No, it ain't, and they don't want to leave it to the last game either, away at Manchester City, so I wouldn't put it down to that game either. No, listen, Norwich is a side that at times I'm surprised they haven't got more points, because throughout the course of the season, particularly earlier on, at home they were very, very good. I mean, they beat Manchester City, as we know. They gave Chelsea a real run for their money here at this stadium, which I was at the game. And I'm surprised they haven't continued with that momentum, because generally teams that get promoted that go on those sort of runs early on, they generally continue it for a larger period of time throughout the season, and ultimately, more often than not, keeps them up.
Tonight's team news then: Norwich make one change from their defeat at Molineux against Wolves last weekend. I was at that game. Buendia came on as a sub. He starts tonight. Lucas Rupp, the new signing in January, is the man who drops to the bench. Otherwise, same lineup: Tim Krul in goal, Max Aarons, Grant Adley, Ben Godfrey and Jamal Lewis the back 4. In midfield, Alexander Tete, Andre Duda, Kenny McLean. Then it's Buendia and Cantwell in support of top scorer Teemu Pukki, who is up front. Pukki, who scored against Leicester when these sides met in December of the King Power. It was a draw that day, 0-0. We get underway here at Carrow Road tonight, and Leicester, who lost at 1-0 at home to Manchester City last Saturday, they make 3 changes tonight, most notably no Jamie Vardy, not even on the bench. Brendan Rodgers has said tonight that it's a calf strain that, as Vardy has picked up in training yesterday, he's not on the bench tonight. He could be available for the FA Cup next week. They don't think it's particularly serious from Vardy, but he's not risked here tonight. The others who drop out of the team: Christian Fuchs, who had started against Manchester City, and Yuri Tielemans, who's been a regular in the team all season long, but he's not selected in the 11 today. He is amongst the substitutes. Barnes, Perez and Chowdhury are the players who come in. Hamza Chowdhury, who is just back from suspension, sent off in his last appearance, and he is back into the team tonight, having missed that Manchester City game. So Leicester with Schmeichel in goals, back 4: Ricardo Pereira, Johnny Evans, Chaglar Soyuncu and Ben Chilwell. In midfield, Chowdhury, Pratt and Maddison, the former Norwich player who's back on very familiar turf tonight. And then a front 3 of Perez, Barnes and Iheanacho. And even without Jamie Vardy, there's a lot of pace there up front for Leicester tonight.
Yeah, there is. You know, they're a very good side to watch, Leicester. I mean, they're very attacking-minded at times. Obviously, they play a lot more with the possession of the ball rather than what they did in 2016, where they actually generally were smash and grab, very good on the counter, absorb pressure, whereas now they have more of the ball. They've got a bit more creativity, and they're a little bit more comfortable in wanting to keep the ball at longer periods of time.
Possession for Norwich, midway inside their own half. McLean spins it to the near touchline. Max Aarons, who I have to say I've been really impressed with this season. He's no longer a teenager, turned 20 in January, but in a team that has struggled, he plays with real flair. Here he is, away down the wing on the right hand side, sends in a low cross too close to Schmeichel. Easy pickings for the Dane on the edge of his 6-yard box, and he immediately propels the ball up the pitch over the halfway line, looking for Perez, but intercepted by Ben Godfrey, and Norwich have got it back on the far side. They still do play with flair, even for a team bottom of the table. It's not like they stick 11 behind the ball, and you know they actually play like they did in the Championship last season, Norwich.
That's right, they do, and they've made no secret that they want to continue to play exactly how they did in the Championship, and that was always a big question right at the beginning of the season. Have they got the players? Have they got the quality to do so in the Premier League? Would they adjust it slightly? They haven't. They've stuck to their preferred way, and at times they've got some great performances.
Here's Max Aarons again involved, attacking position on the right hand side. Cantwell scoops the ball into the air for Aarons to try and run onto. Soyuncu veers across, and nothing fancy at the back for Leicester, no risks taken. They put it out for a Norwich throw. Soyuncu, who's had a fantastic season, and Leicester really haven't missed Harry Maguire. They got all that money, they sent Maguire off to Old Trafford, and they have not looked a weaker team since Soyuncu has come in. Here's Teti midway inside the Leicester half. 0-0 here on 5 Live from the BBC on what's been a very wet evening in these parts, but the tap has just turned off a little bit. It is still a misty rain, but it's not powering down cats and dogs as it has been all afternoon. As Ricardo Pereira wins possession for Leicester, right full-back position, clears it away, tries to pick out Perez, but it's Teti who gets it for Norwich. They come on the attack towards the edge of the penalty area, and Emi Buendia, but he can't pick a pass, and Leicester will clear it away up towards Iheanacho, who scored against Norwich back in his Manchester City days. He tries to hold it up, but unsuccessfully, and then Norwich put it out for a Leicester throw on the far side.
Yeah, so one thing they're going to miss tonight, that Jamie Vardy off the shoulder, that pace in behind. Yes, Iheanacho does have some pace, but he doesn't tend to look to go in behind as much. So Leicester have to alter a little bit the way they play forward, the way they look for that pass over the top.
Leicester won on their last visit here to Carrow Road. That was when both sides were in the top flight 4 seasons ago. It was inevitably Jamie Vardy who scored a penalty in that game. No Vardy tonight, not even amongst the substitutes for Leicester, who still want to nail down this Champions League spot for next season. Into the penalty area comes Barnes, tries to shoot, one step inside the box, but the shot is charged down. And then a rather weak touch from Andre Duda. He wanted to roll it in front of Teti. Teti wasn't surging on, and it was a poor pass, and Leicester regained possession. Leicester, who looked absolutely odds-on, nailed on for a place in the Champions League. And they probably will still get it, but back around December, they had 8 straight league wins in a row and looked like they were going to be part of the title race. Form has dipped a little bit away from that. They are 6 points clear of Chelsea in 4th place, and they've got a 9-point advantage ahead of Manchester United. They should be fine, Leicester, but will just need to regain some of their composure that they've had from earlier on in the season. But it'll be the Champions League theme playing once again at the King Power Stadium next season. Here is Ben Chilwell at left back for Leicester. Sends one over the top. Iheanacho is in pursuit. Krul thought about coming, hesitated, then did come. He's judged that well, Tim Krul. And he gathers the ball inside the Norwich City penalty area wearing all silver grey.
Yeah, those balls at the top have to be spot on. The conditions, it's wet. The ball's going to skid through on an occasion. It was a little bit too heavy, and it did easily skid through to Tim Krul and goal.
Must have been more difficult when you were coming through in your early days, Mark, when pitches wouldn't have been as smooth, and you don't know, is it going to hit a puddle, is it going to get stuck? I mean, is it easier for the goalkeepers these days in that regard? Balls, the flight of the ball, the bounce of the ball?
There's more consistency. That's the biggest difference, in my opinion, because in the day, like you said, I played in pitches where the 6-yard box, 8-yard box was either mud or sand. They used to put sand in there to try and get rid of the mud, and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare for a goalkeeper. The sand would get all over your gloves, the ball would have sand on it, and you can imagine sand on sand to try and hold the ball just didn't go down very well.
Sand in the gloves, sand in the socks, those are the days. Perez wins a corner for Leicester down the right hand side. 0-0 here with 6 minutes played at Carrow Road. Tomorrow's 5 Live Sport features commentary of West Ham against Southampton. That's the 3 o'clock game. Ian Dennison, Tony Pulis will be your commentary team for that one. 6:06 with Ali Bruce Ball and Chris Sutton at 6 minutes past 6. Soyuncu's come forward. Johnny Evans has come forward as well. 2 goals for him so far this season. And so many of them come from corners. When you talk about Evans, corner swing in, Chowdhury with the header, and he puts it over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, you just see the way that Norwich is set up there, mostly sort of a zonal marking across the 6-yard box. Problem is every single Norwich player is facing the ball. No one's looking at the runner, and it's easy for Chowdhury to get at the edge of the 6-yard box for a free header. Just couldn't get it down.
Norwich, who had more possession than Wolves at Molineux last Sunday, and they're still comprehensively beaten by 3-0. It's how you use it. As the ball is played by Ben Godfrey back to Tim Krul. His clearance direct up towards the halfway line, one in the air by Johnny Evans, and then Madison, the former Norwich favourite, wins a throw-in on the far side. Interview with James Madison in the week, he said that Norwich is still the first result he looks for every week. He says he's more like a fan than a former player. Back tonight at Carrow Road for the first time since leaving. Leicester paid £24 million for him summer before last. Don't think they'd get him for 24 million now. Here is Max Aarons, halfway line, right hand side for Norwich. Tries to get past Chilwell. Chilwell so well, but then Pookie nips in it. wins possession back for Norwich, and he's got Aarons still outside him on the right hand side. Chilwell's trying desperately to get back goal side. Excellent surge by Aarons all the way to the byline, wins a corner for Norwich down the right.
Yeah, Ben Chilwell in the end did really well to get back and make the block. At certain stages there, it looked like he was going to commit a foul because he was beaten a couple of times, but stayed, he was persistent, and in the end that paid off and he got back and made the block.
It's a corner to Norwich, and they do commit pretty much everyone forward here. Jamal Lewis is the deepest lying outfield player, and he's only 10 yards outside the penalty area. They have lock, stock and barrel gone forward for this one, Norwich, as Andre Duda, the Slovakian, takes the corner, disappointing towards the front post. McLean tries to keep it alive, back out to Duda, better cross this time towards the back post. Godfrey's headed down, saved by Kasper Schmeichel. Decent header, he got up high, he powered it downwards, but Schmeichel's positioning was very good.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward for Kasper Schmeichel there, just getting the body behind it, just in case it skidded or kept low. He had the full body behind it and took it quite easily. And also Ben Chilwell definitely breathed a huge sigh of relief because it was his control at the near post. He tried to take a touch, wanted to look up and try and play it, lost possession, and it allowed Norwich to get that free header then eventually in the box.
Free header for Ben Godfrey, who hasn't scored at all this season. He got 4 goals last year for Norwich as they came up in the Championship. Here come Leicester trying to counter-attack a ball in for the Harvey Barnes, and he runs and sprints and stretches but doesn't quite get there, and it runs through to Tim Krul. Tim Krul, who was judged to have scored an own goal when these sides last met in December. Only the second ever own goal of his career. Always a bit conscientious and controversial when a goalkeeper's deemed to have an own goal. I mean, because, defender is one thing. Goalkeeper is, if it goes in off the keeper, that's kind of trying to save rather than deflect it in.
Yeah, it's very hard.
I think on that one, it was going across the goal line. It actually hit him and completely diverted. I remember commentating on that game. Sorry, I interrupted you there, Mark.
No, it's always difficult for a goalkeeper when that happens. Make the full stretch dive, hits the post, and then comes off and hits the goalkeeper in the back of the head, and it goes in the goal.
Has that happened to you?
No, never. Not that I can remember anyway.
10 minutes played at Carrow Road. Rain is still coming down here. Madison applauds the Norwich fans who clap him back. Nice to see as he comes across to take this corner on the left-hand side. He got 16 goals in a Norwich shirt of the past. Made his name here, really. James Maddison, here he is taking the corner. Right-footed delivery, headed away at the front post by Jamal Lewis. Norwich had everyone back defending it. And this is Dennis Pratt, the Belgian international, sending a crossfield ball. Soyuncu's up on the right-hand side. Oh, he's taking it down on his chest. Good close-touch control from Soyuncu. And then Jamal Lewis puts just enough pressure on him to run it out for a goal kick. Good pass into the penalty area there by Pratt, and Soyuncu unlucky because his first touch was very good trying to control it there.
Yeah, very good touch there. Jamal Lewis gets caught out. He's actually turned square onto the ball and he's trying to backtrack, and he because of the pace of the ball, he's not able to get there, and Soyuncu takes a really good touch. I think he could have easily have gone down as well.
Here's a great touch. Cantwell puts it one side of Ricardo Pereira, runs around the other, receives. Ricardo Pereira battles back, slides in and trips Todd Cantwell. A free kick to Norwich, 10 yards outside the Leicester penalty area. Cantwell with that elegant swashbuckling style of his. He's a throwback. He's like an old-fashioned winger, and he just pushed it beyond Pereira there and ran around the other edge, and he drew the foul from the Portuguese international.
Yeah, it's a correct decision. Just watching on the monitors in front of us there's a clear foul. In the end, Cantwell did really well to keep off the pressure from Pereira to begin with and hold it just enough time to really draw out the foul.
Right, Buendia is giving this one a bit of consideration. It's more than 10 yards outside the box, 12, maybe even 13 yards outside the penalty area. The wall is erected outside the box, and yet it's a central location, and the body language of Buendia, he's like a rugby player in the Six Nations eyeing up the post here for a conversion. He looks completely focused. He does hit it towards goal, but low and disappointing and straight into the wall, and that three-man wall does its job, and it's a poor effort from Buendia. He's had a good season for Leicester, but that was a poor free kick.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, I was actually surprised. I didn't even know if I was going to reach the goal. That's it. Didn't have a lot of pace on the ball, and the wall did its job. But yeah, you're right. Poor free kick.
Emi Buendia, he's tops so many of the stat categories for Norwich this season in terms of the passing and the offensive, and actually a lot of the defensive stats as well this season. He's been better than any of his teammates, and yet he doesn't already start. Was a sub on Wolves on Sunday in the starting 11 tonight. Daniel Farke hoping that something can click and his team can get a much needed win. They've only had 4 wins all season in the Premier League. Jamal Lewis, the Northern Ireland international, has it. Halfway line, left hand side of the pitch, far side as we look down here at a packed Carroll Road. 15 years since Delia Smith's Where Are You? Well, we're certainly all here tonight, and despite being rock bottom of the Premier League, the support's been unrelenting from Norwich fans. Oh, unlucky. Buendia tried to feed it through for Pookie. Johnny Evans made the interception, and look at Barnes go over the halfway line down the left hand side to the edge of the penalty area. Great run, poor cross, straight at Grant Hanley, and he's able to clear it away for Norwich. And then Madison draws a foul, and that's going to be a free kick. Yeah, Grant Hanley did really well there, just held his ground in the end, didn't keep running back towards goal, stopped his run, held his ground, positions off perfectly and right in the path of the attempted cross. Third time in his career that Grant Hanley has played against Leicester. Lost the first 2, both in his Blackburn days. Grant Hanley, Scotland international, partnering Ben Godfrey at the heart of the Norwich City defence tonight. They don't have Christoph Zimmermann at the moment, he's out with a hamstring injury. Chilwell here jumps, left full-back position for Leicester, wins a header. Ball looked to have gone out of play, Norwich tried to play on, and then the flag is raised and it will be a throw into Leicester, left-hand side for them. Tomorrow night, match of the day, BBC One 10:20 for the highlights of this game and all of tomorrow's Premier League action as well. Buendia here controls, studs on the ball, halfway line, right hand side for Norwich, challenged by Chilwell, gives it back into midfield. Now McLean's picked up a knock here, his teammates are playing on around him, but Kenny McLean slowly back up to his feet and hobbling. Norwich temporarily playing on with effectively 10 men here. Cantwell sends a cross, he sends it to McLean, who probably didn't want it, but he controls it and he's running okay now with possession inside the Leicester City half. Sends a cross, some ball back out to Jamal Lewis, crossing position on the left hand side for Norwich. Ricardo Pereira hounds out towards him, and that pressure forces a rushed pass, a disappointing pass, and the ball goes out of play for a throw into Leicester. Right full back position for them. Mark Swarcher. Yeah, I think Pratt there was a little bit lucky there, Dennis Pratt, because there was a late challenge on Kenny McLean. The referee saw it, allowed play to continue, and then in the end, as the ball goes out, the referee decides not having a chat to Dennis Pratt or even possibly give him the yellow card, because I think it could have warranted one. Norwich have had that attempt, the header from the corner from Ben Godfrey. It's been their only effort at goal tonight. They've only had 2 goals in the last 6 Premier League games, and both of those were penalties. 600, almost 700 minutes now of top flight football since they last scored from open play. That's the problem for Norwich, that's why they're bottom of the table. Pookie's a good poacher, but he's got to be given the chances. He's the man who scored those last 2 penalties. Can Norwich create something for him tonight? Buendia has it, midway inside the Leicester half. Gives it back to Ben Godfrey, 20th appearance in the Premier League for him this season. Jamal Lewis outside him to Dude on the edge of the box. Now Cantwell crosses, and it's charged out by Evans and out for a corner. Better play that from Norwich. They've got a corner on the left hand side. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much what Norwich does for most of the time. They've done most of throughout the season. The problem is that end product, like you were mentioning there, the stats, scoring goals from open play. They just don't do it often enough. They've only won 4 games all season, and that's their big problem, finishing games off. Andre Duda to take the corner, January signing on loan from Hertha Berlin. It's a right-footed corner from the left, and it's headed away at the front post by Jose Perez. And then Buendia gets it back for Norwich, and he's got Max Aarons behind him, and he'll turn and give it all the way back to Tim Krul, who's midway inside the Norwich half. All his teammates have been ahead of him for that corner. Buendia, the Argentinian midfielder, tries to give it out to the left wing, and it's cut out by who cut that out? Iheanacho was back there. Just didn't expect to see him in that right full back position. At the moment, Perez is leading the line in the sort of number 9 role, and Iheanacho's gone out to the right hand side. And if you're just maybe sitting into the car tonight, tuning into our commentary on 5 Live, you missed the team news earlier. No Jamie Vardy, who hasn't scored in his last 9 Premier League games, Jamie Vardy, and yet is still joint top of the race for the Golden Boot with Aubameyang. He's still up there, 17 goals this season, even though they're looking for his first goal in 10 the next time he plays. Norwich have got possession. Grant Hanley, midway inside his own half. Rolls it across to his left to Godfrey. Godfrey comes surging up to the halfway line, gives it off to Duda. And now Alexander Teti, one of the survivors from the last time that Norwich were in the top flight. Daniel Farke down there waving his left arm and signalling to his team, come on, let's get up there, let's push and try and squeeze Leicester back a little bit. Cantwell has it, central location, short ball back to Teti behind him. 11 men behind the ball for Leicester, and they force Norwich back into their own half and back to Grant Hanley once again. Leicester who had a 0-0 draw against Wolves not too long ago. It was their first 0-0 draw since the opening weekend of the season. Normally there are goals when Brendan Rodgers' teams play this season. This is Chilwell back to Soyuncu, who doesn't control it, but there's no panic because Johnny Evans is located in behind him. Leicester have it with Maddison. Good ball, picks out Chilwell in a bit of space on the left hand side. Barnes hugging the choke of the touchline, sets off now towards the edge of the penalty area, cuts in on his right boot, gives it to Dennis Pratt. Good shot, plenty of power, kept it low, but straight at the goalkeeper in Krul saves.
Yeah, it was a good shot, decent shot on goal, hit it very cleanly. I think Tim Krul did a really good job because he just stood there, controlled it with his hands, patted it down on the ground and made it look very, very easy. Good positioning and really good hands.
Good goalkeeper Tim Krul. He's had his injury problems. He was out for best part of 2 seasons with a knee injury, around about 2015 to 2017, and yet he's recovered, and here he is, Premier League goalkeeper once again. He's made some good saves for Norwich. Their predicament would be worse were it not for Krul this season. Grant Hanley has it just outside the Norwich penalty area, and we're almost at the 20-minute mark here at Carrow Road tonight. No goals on 5 Live, as it's given away cheaply by McLean in midfield. Chowdhury winning it back for Leicester. This is Barnes, skips away from the attempted challenge of Buendia. Wasn't a great challenge, I tell you that. Here comes Barnes into the penalty area, trying to get it over, back onto his right boot. Teti sticking with him like glue. Barnes manages to hold on to it, then veers in a cross which is headed away. Leicester come again. Chowdhury out to the right hand side to Ricardo Pereira. Poor pass behind him. They'll run back to recover the situation. Gives another poor pass infield to Maddison, and this one has been picked off by Duda. Chance of a counter-attack for Norwich, but this is the frustration for the home end. They win it there. Leicester had committed bodies up the pitch, and they're slow in transitioning. Yeah,
they're just looking a little bit flat, aren't they? I mean, the transition wasn't quick. They were a bit slow getting back and trying to defend when they lost possession really cheaply near the halfway line, Norwich. And now when they win it in a good position, they're still pretty deep. So yeah, at the moment they just need to shift a gear, because Leicester at the moment are just happy enough to sit back and try and absorb pressure and hit them on the counter. Yeah, Norwich with more possession, but Leicester are probably creating better chances at the moment. Well, it's been a bit of the story of the season for Norwich. As it's played forward by Godfrey. Buendia jumps over it, knowing that Duda was behind. Soyuncu comes sliding in, and the Turkish defender gives away a free kick. Free kick to Norwich near the centre circle. Cantwell gets on with it, rolls it immediately, and here comes Teti now down the right hand side. He's got Max Aarons outside him. Teti turns and gives it back to Cantwell with the yellow skins on underneath his shirt and the black gloves tonight. And then this is Pukki, penalty area shoots, and Soyuncu got across to make the block. Well, that's the kind of chance they're trying to create here. They've worked their way into the penalty area. Pukki pulls the trigger. Good defending Soyuncu. Yeah, it comes all the way from Todd Cantwell, who starts that really quick free kick. They get the ball on the ground, and more direct this time. More direct, quicker forward, get the ball to Pukki, and he gets his shot away. Second touch by Soyuncu, was in the right position and put off a really good block. Good player Cantwell, turned 22 yesterday. If Norwich do go down, I'd be surprised if a Premier League club doesn't try and prize him away for next season. Here comes the corner, played in by Duda. Might have been a push in the back by Pereira there, but play on says the referee, and it's picked up by Pukki in a crossing position left hand side for Norwich. All their players are still forward from the corner kick, and Jamal Lewis has got a lot to aim for here as he floats one in. Oh, too much float on it. Maybe a little bit of Storm Jorge picked that one because it flew off in the air and went over everyone and out for a throw in. Yeah, poor ball into the ball, attempted ball into the box, overhits it, and yeah, you're probably right. A little bit of a gust of wind that's swirling around this stadium, got hold of it, and out it goes for a throw in. But Norwich just need to be a little bit more clinical, take a little bit more care with that final pass, that delivery into the box. Norwich in possession. It's not been a bad start from Daniel Farke's team, but they've nothing to show for it so far.
As Max Aarons gives it into Teti. Back into space now for Ben Godfrey. He's got a lot of grass to run into down that left channel for Norwich. Cuts back at himself, has a look up and sends a crossfield ball looking for Buendia. Very accurate, controlled on the instep from Buendia, and then good defending by Chilwell. Gets right in his face. Buendia tries the back heel, very South American flair there. Doesn't quite come off. He's got to battle now with Perez to try and win it. Duda's done well. Chance for Norwich here. Duda in the penalty area. 3 defenders right in front of him though. Gives it out to Buendia. Here's the lofted cross, played into the middle. Cantwell, it kind of hit him on the forehead. He was bending backwards. He couldn't get any propulsion towards goal. Leicester clear it away, but Norwich come at them again, and the fans rise in volume in support of the Canaries. Cantwell, left wing for Norwich, cuts in field, he's given it away. Now this is dangerous, as over the halfway line comes Dennis Pratt, rolls it in field to Iheanacho. Iheanacho held up by Cantwell. That's great work rate from Cantwell, who sprinted back to help out the defence there. Has a chance to shoot from miles out from Iheanacho, and miles off target too, as it goes into the Norwich fans. Norwich 0, Leicester 0 here on 5 Live.
Yeah, Todd Cantwell did really well get back there. He gave the ball away very cheaply and realised he's got to get on his bike, got to get back and try and make a difference, and he did slow play down. In the end, Iheanacho was quite wasteful. I mean, I know he did have space in front of him. Norwich defenders were backing off a little bit as he approached the 25-30 yards out, decided to have a go, and it was miles over the top.
Midway through the first half, Norwich in possession. Grant Hanley having a look up, no real high press from Leicester, and he sends it long and ambitiously in front of Max Aarons, and I'll be shocked if he keeps that in. Strainer and ecstasy. Ball's gone out of play, and that will be a throw-in to Leicester, left full-back position for them. Leicester, who have won their last 2 visits here to Carrow Road, both by 2-1 score lines. Leicester, who had that run of 8 league wins in a row earlier on the season. Funny enough, it was tonight opponents. It was Norwich who brought that run to an end when they drew at the King Power in December. Here is Harvey Barnes. Good ball for Pereira. Low cross into the middle, and it's saved to the front post by Krul. It was Dennis Pratt. I think it might have hit his knee in the 6-yard box. And that has to be a corner, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, even Tim Krul was celebrating about the save. It was a brilliant save.
How was that not a corner?
The referee obviously doesn't see it. The linesman doesn't see it. It's a brilliant save. It goes so quickly, and he gets down really quickly. Well, right, just watching the replay, it looks like a really good save.
Yeah. Well, thought that was going to be a corner. Referee says goal kick. Norwich won't argue with that. Good movement from Leicester, though probably, Mark, their slickest build-up of the game so far.
Yeah, it was, and I think it was the moment when Leicester actually lifted a gear, rather than being that sort of slower pace, sort of gradually going forward. They were more precise, more direct, sharper, crisper passes, and it caused Norwich problems.
Leicester have won 7 Premier League away games this season, which is no mean feat. Still in February. Here is Harvey Barnes, who's taken up a position on the right wing, into Perez, turns Godfrey, turns back at him again, and Hanley is there to put it out for a corner. Wondered if he took a touch too many there, Jose Perez, but he still got it into the danger zone.
Yeah, it looked like he may have taken it too long there. Should have possibly have played it sooner, but the defence got across really quickly. And to be fair, he really had no other option other than take that touch, and got lucky enough. He went through the defender's leg, but Hanley, I think it was Hanley behind there, was positioned perfectly to make the clearance.
Leicester's front 3 keep interchanging. Barnes has been playing on the right wing. Iheanacho's been out on the right wing. Perez has been the right wing. They keep chopping and changing and trying to find some space as Maddison prepares to take this corner in front of the travelling Leicester City fans tonight. Swings it to the edge of the penalty area to Chilwell. Chilwell didn't seem ready to receive it. It's back out to Maddison. That's a brilliant ball in. Krul dives on the edge of the 6-yard box, and with his stomach or his knee or something, he gets it away with Iheanacho sliding in on top of him. Super ball into the box from Maddison there.
Yeah, top ball into the box, and I tell you what, Tim Krul did it extremely well. There's a whole host of players, Iheanacho being the first one that makes that run to that near post or towards the middle of the goal, but Tim Krul throws himself, makes himself big, and makes the decisive interception.
Norwich 0, Leicester 0. And there will be a free kick to Norwich, midway inside their own half. Krul comes out of his penalty area to take it. Watch that save again on our monitor screens here at Carrow Road. Excellent from Tim Krul. And there's no doubt that having absorbed a lot of early pressure, Leicester are now beginning to apply a lot more pressure themselves. There's been a collision between two players right in front of the dugouts, Max Aarons and Ben Chilwell. They've collided into each other. Both are hurt. Both are down and needing treatment, and we're going to have a little bit of a delay here now at Carrow Road. Yeah,
the collision happened. I think you can see that. I think Ben Chilwell stood on Aaron's leg somehow. Chilwell's boots come off as well in the challenge.
As he landed, they're both jumping in the air. As he landed, Max Aarons lands on the ankle of Chilwell, and they both sort of twist their ankles down there. I mean, there's no intent by anyone there. That's accidental, but both players have been hurt.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, definitely no intent. They're both going for the ball, which is one of those unfortunate situations.
Right, well, we've got the break in play here. A reminder of what's coming up over the weekend. We've got another couple of Premier League commentaries. We've got the League Cup final as well on Sunday. Tomorrow's 5 Live Sport, we'll have West Ham against Southampton. West Ham in the relegation zone. They are 2 places and 6 points ahead of Norwich, who we're watching here. And Ian Dennis will be alongside Tony Pulis for that one, 3 p.m. on 5 Live. Sports Report as usual at 5, and then just after 6 o'clock, 6:06 with Alistair Bruce Ball and Chris Sutton. On Sunday we've got 2 commentaries. Everton against Manchester United in the Premier League is at 2, and it's Aston Villa v Manchester City, the League Cup final. Live from Wembley, John Murray will be commentating at 4:30. Chilwell still receiving treatment here at Carrow Road. Max Aarons back at his feet, hobbling, but he's going to be okay. And Chilwell helped back up to his feet by Daniel Farker there, who'd come across just to inquire about his well-being. Well, we'll wait for play to get back underway. It's been an opportunity for both coaches just to have a little word with the players, and at the moment James Maddison is chatting with Brendan Rodgers as we await a break in the deadlock here at Carrow Road. Almost half an hour played. Right, get back underway then. Both players okay to continue. Max Aarons, in fact, will take the throw-in. Chested back to it by Duda. Chowdhury stretching on the halfway line. This is Johnny Evans, left-footed clearance away. Maddison with a flick-on header. Hanley gets it down to the halfway line. And then McLean sends one forward. Pukki tries to run onto it. He's unfortunate there. Too much on it, and it runs through to Kasper Schmeichel. Still just one proper save needed to be made by Schmeichel in the game so far. That header from Ben Godfrey from a corner earlier on.
Yeah, neither side has got that ball quite right yet, have they? There's too much pace in it. The ground is slippery, and the ball just slides through really, really quickly to the goalkeepers.
Brendan Rodgers' first ever win as a manager was against Norwich. That was back when he got the job at Watford 12 years ago now. Here is Todd Cantwell on the halfway line. Rolls it infield to Duda. Norwich playing from left to right as we look down. Duda's challenged by Johnny Evans. Loose ball falls for Cantwell, and Evans had bounced back up to his feet and made a second interception in very quick succession. Fine season he's having for Leicester, Johnny Evans, and he's thwarted Norwich on that occasion.
Yeah, every time Todd Cantwell gets the ball, you just think something's going to happen for Norwich. The pace, the tempo of the game then lifts automatically by about an extra 15% every time he gets the ball. So he needs to get on it a bit more, and there needs to be some movement as soon as he gets it.
Right, here's some movement from Chilwell down the left-hand side. Pukki in hot pursuit. McLean comes across and wins the challenge. Norwich regain possession, but they are still inside their own half. Max Aarons does a little pirouette to elude Chilwell. And now Tetty has it in a more central position in the midfield. 0-0, 5 Live for the BBC. Bottom club Norwich against third place Leicester. Maddison tries to win the ball here and very nearly succeeds. And Hadley pounds it off the backside of Buendia and out for a Leicester throw just down below us.
That's the second time that Hanley's gone full throttle trying to smash the ball up the pitch, and either gone straight, the pass has either gone straight to a Leicester player and they've started the counter-attack, or this time smashes off his own player out for a throw-in.
Something of a throwback centre half, Grant Hanley. He's old school. Here comes Harvey Barnes into Iheanacho, tried to return the compliment, but second pass of that 1-2 wasn't quite as accurate as it needed to be. Norwich win back possession, but not for long. Chilwell keeps it in play just down below us in front of his coach Brendan Rodgers in the warm padded manager's navy jacket tonight, and that's a foul. McLean snapping at the ankles of Maddison. Free kick to Leicester 15 yards inside the Norwich half. Maddison wants to take it quickly. Duda standing right in front of him. He's not retreating back 10. Chilwell does take the free kick out to Ricardo Pereira. Great delivery. Cantwell with a sliding tackle who's good. Puts it out for a Leicester City corner.
Yeah, good little phase of play there. Constant pressure from Leicester. Norwich, when they did win the ball back, they just couldn't keep hold of it. The ball played up to Pukki. Tries a first-time pass, 20-25 yards back towards his own goal. You can see Daniel Farke a little bit upset with it, a bit annoyed about telling him, get hold of it, keep it. And he should have. Could have kept hold of it, waited for his Norwich teammates to come out more and get out of their own half.
Norwich, who've been in the relegation zone since October. They've been bottom since Boxing Day. Now they defend this corner, which Maddison, their former player, swings in. Soyuncu tries a kind of adapted bicycle kick after it bounced in front of him. And that doesn't reach the target, but Leicester do hold on to possession. Pratt gives it back to Ricardo Pereira. Norwich sitting deep on the edge of their own penalty area here. Pereira tries to float one in handily with a good solid granite forehead. Heads it away. Chilwell tries a half volley return. Now Barnes, ball at his feet, runs low into the penalty area. Maddison's first touch is weak on the edge of the box, and then it's cleared away by Hanley. Another robust clearance by him, and the Scot is fouled as he does so. Free kick to Norwich inside the deal of penalty area that they are defending. 12 minutes to half time.
Yeah, he's certainly a throwback, he is, isn't he? Grant Hanley, he's got that old school 10-15 years ago centre half. Just every time the ball pops up, he looks to go full throttle, looks to put everything behind it, and tries to find the room up the pitch.
Delia Smith is here tonight. We're just catching a glimpse of her on the monitor, wearing probably the same Norwich scarf she wore this very night 15 years ago, when at half-time she took the microphone and had her very famous speech on the pitch here. 15 years. If you told me that was 8 years ago, I'd have believed you. 15 years. This is Godfrey here, back to Tim Krul. They've been up and down a few times, promotions and relegations of Norwich in that time. Is there to be any chance of Daniel Farke's side staying in the Premier League this season? It doesn't feel like it. They are so far adrift to the bottom, and yet it's not mathematically impossible just yet. If they could get a win tonight, well, who knows? They would be 4 points from safety. Anything could happen. Here comes Harvey Barnes down the left-hand side. Outside of the right boot is the cross. Hit by Jose Perez. He says it took a deflection. Referee agrees with him. Norwich don't like it, but it's going to be a corner. Corner to Leicester on the left-hand side.
Yeah, it looks like it was a good block there from Jamal Lewis, and there was some appeals, and obviously Norwich players claiming it didn't come off anyone from Norwich, but the referee was very close, and he was very quick to give Leicester the corner.
Jose Perez, who got a hat-trick in a Friday night game earlier on this season, scored 3 in the big 9-0 win against Southampton. His shot has led to this corner, which Maddison is going to take. Norwich have brought all the defenders back inside the 6-yard box here again. Leicester play it deep, back to Pratt, back out to Chilwell. Here comes the cross into the middle, headed away by McLean. Picked up by Chowdhury for Leicester, who remain on the attack. Back into the mix once again from Chowdhury. Headed away again by Norwich, who've got all hands on deck of the back, so they've no one to pick it up when it is cleared. It's got to come back at them once again here. Chowdhury picks it up. Right hand side, Chowdhury back from suspension tonight after his red card against Wolves. Leicester turn and give it all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel away to our right hand side. Norwich 0, Leicester 0 tonight. Premier League, Carroll Road, live on 5 Live and BBC Sounds tonight. Now here comes Jose Perez. Gets to the edge of the penalty area. Brilliant feed. Left-footed shot. Krul dives to his left-hand side. He slalomed his way into the shooting position there, Jose Perez, and he'll be a little bit disappointed that there wasn't more power in the shot.
Yeah, it was a bit of slow motion, wasn't it? And you actually thought at one stage there it may just creep through, because there was a whole lot of bodies in front of Tim Krul, but he was aware of the shot, could watch it all the way, and got himself down pretty easily in the end.
Leicester threatening here ahead of half-time, but pass from Harvey Barnes is too far in front of Iheanacho, and Iheanacho does that sort of thing where he says nothing, he just turns and glares at Harvey Barnes. He said, come on, give me a chance, give me something I can run onto.
Well, actually takes that shot there from Perez takes a little bit of a deflection as well off the diving defender. So Tim Krul did well just to watch it, be careful, because sometimes those balls can end up bobbling over you, going underneath you because of that slight deflection if you don't really concentrate and go down and get right behind it.
Norwich travel to Tottenham next. That's in the FA Cup on Wednesday. Then it's Sheffield United away in the Premier League, followed by Southampton at home. Norwich have only got 5 more Premier League home games left this season. 0-0 here for now. Norwich not really creating chances, which will be the main concern for Daniel Farke. Throw in for Leicester on the far side. Ricardo Pereira to Iheanacho. No Vardy tonight for Leicester. Maddison back out to Ricardo Pereira. Maddison was fouled. Late challenge after the ball had left. Referee Craig Pawson tonight blows the whistle. And that's a free kick to Leicester inside the Norwich half.
Yeah, it's crucial for Norwich. I mean, you look at their record so far this season, all 15 games where they've conceded first in the Premier League, they've gone on to lose.
Yeah.
And so it's crucial that they do get on the score sheet first to give them every chance to try and get 3 points in that vital, relegation dogfight they're in.
Yeah, they don't have powers of recovery, Norwich. If they could get their noses in front, they might have a chance. Here's Maddison for Leicester into the penalty area. Perez, Iheanacho controls it. He's still a good swivel turn, but he can't keep the shot down. He picked it up with his left shoulder facing goal. He swiveled around and he scooped his shot over the crossbar.
Yeah, first reaction is I don't think the goal would have stood. I think it actually does touch his forearm as he takes control. It comes off his thigh and his arms are out to try and balance himself. Looks like it bobbles up and hits his arm. Yeah, I think definitely I think it's his right arm, and as he swivels around, he hits it too high anyway. It's an easy decision for the referee to give it a goal kick.
Norwich 0, Leicester 0. We've got 6.5 minutes of regulation time until the break. There'll be a bit added on. We had a delay for that injury when Chilwell and Aarons both needed treatment. And Duda here has gone in hard on Chowdhury and won the ball fairly. Plays it over the top for Todd Cantwell. That was a creative pass. Cantwell tackled by Ricardo Pereira. Good work by Pereira. Buendia battles with it. He's done well. Buendia into the box, takes a stumble, but I think that's what it was, a stumble. Even he raises an arm of acknowledgement. He says, I didn't dive, but I wasn't fouled either. And then Jamal Lewis gives it away. Groans at Carrow Road for the Norwich City fans. That's been their first attack in a while. It was promising when Duda picked out Cantwell, but now Norwich back defending once again.
Yeah, I think it was the reaction. Johnny Evans gave that reaction, I think, because of the fans. The way the fans shouted for a penalty there. But it was clear there that Buendia didn't actually dive. He lost his footing, and you could see by the reaction of Johnny Evans, and Buendia was very quick to put his hand up and say, no, it wasn't a dive.
This is Cantwell. Oh, that's graceful. Goes around Ricardo Pereira. And they've got 4 up in attack here. Cantwell into the penalty area. Left-hand side, Maddison is the one tracking back with him. And the last touch goes off Cantwell. Brilliant defending, James Maddison. Goal kick to Leicester.
Yeah, bit of a discussion there whether or not it was a corner or not. We can't really see it right at our end here, but again, that we see this run into the box there. Buendia tries to run through. He actually just trips over. He runs out of space. Johnny Evans there realises that actually he didn't do a dive. It was literally just falling over.
Yeah, it's always whether you often hear people say, "Oh, well, if it's not a penalty, then you've got to book him for diving." And it's like, well, no, there is a third option. You can fall over, and it's not a trip, but it's not a dive. You can sometimes just fall over in football.
Well, in an instance there, you could clearly see it wasn't. I mean, the only reason Johnny Evans hears the crowd, he actually doesn't see him fall over. So as he turns around, he's obviously on the ground, and then you can see that Buendia waves him and says, no, it wasn't a dive. It's not a pen.
There's definitely talent in Buendia. I don't know if Norwich are quite getting the best of him. He feels a bit of a luxury player for a team at the bottom of the league. I wonder how he'd fare elsewhere in the Premier League. Buendia, here he is. That's decent. Cantwell onto Pukki. Pukki shoots miles wide. Oh, by his standards, 30 goal a season man last year. He'll be disappointed to have put that so far off target. Yeah,
he sort of snapped at the shot, didn't he? It was a really good play there from Cantwell. Buendia, really good little 1-2s. Leicester defence were caught napping a little bit, and as the ball fell to Pukki, he just sort of snatched at it, and he snatched it wide, and it was just a bit unfortunate.
Championship player of the season last year, Teemu Pukki. Championship Golden Boot winner as well. He scored 30 goals, 29 of them in the Championship. And this time around it's been 11 goals to show in the Premier League. There's always going to be a difficult step up. So, not many teams who've been bottom of the Premier League will have someone on double figures goals if you go back down through the years. He's done well over the course of the campaign, Teemu Pukki, but most of the fireworks were in the early third of the season. Here is Duda battling for the ball with Pratt. He puts pressure on Pratt, and Pratt's actually quite fortunate. The ball ricochets back to Schmeichel. 0-0, and we've got just over 3 minutes to half-time.
Norwich just need to push up a little bit more. They're dropping deep. Every time that Leicester get the ball, you can see their back four. The first thing they look to do is drop deeper. So if they stay on the front foot a little bit, close that space between themselves and their front line. They win the ball high up, they're already there. They're already ready to engage and give support.
I don't want to be negative about it, but if Norwich do go down, Mark, do you think they're in good nick to come straight back up again. I mean, they've certainly not overspent in the Premier League.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's what they've said right from the off, that they're not going to overspend. They're going to be very careful and how they spend their money. And more about investment. They're ahead of their time a little bit. They're financially in a very, very good position, and I think they've been clever in that regard. Yes, of course, they'd love to stay in the Premier League. I think they'll lose one or two players. I think they'll receive some good money for them, and hopefully they'll be able to reinvest and be there or thereabouts come next season if the worst does happen to them.
Do you know how much money Norwich spent in the summer? So they've come up as winners of the Championship. They spent £1.4 million.
See, I was going to say 30 for some reason. I was thinking 30.
1.4.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Aston
isn't it?
Villa 144.
And how many points better off for Aston Villa?
And you see, that's the thing. That's how much points cost. They are 7 points better off. Header down by Johnny Evans from a corner was saved by Tim Krul. Another decent delivery by James Maddison. But yeah, that does show up the economics of football, doesn't it? It's about £15 million a point.
That's right. I'm just worried. You're watching this again. The set play that comes into the box, a corner. Norwich have got this zonal marking. You've got about 6 players on their own 6-yard box, but they're all facing the kicker. Nobody's watching runs. No one's looking to try and block any runs. If the ball slightly goes out of their zone, there's very little reaction. That's a concern.
0-0 and 5-5 for the BBC. We'll be back in the studio at half-time with Darren Fletcher and John Ruddy. Throw in for Leicester. Far side of the pitch from us. So Ricardo Pereira thinks it's a throw in. Yeah, he's just been told to go back a few steps. Quite pedantic from Craig Paulson. But the throw in is now taken. Iheanacho, good challenge. Teti on Perez just as the pass came to him. McLean picks it up for Norwich. Buendia onto Teti. Up over the halfway line. Poor ball behind Max Aarons. More groans of the Norwich fans. Pratt slides in on Aarons. Aarons has done well. He's fed it back to Buendia. And now his crossfield ball. Jamal Lewis will sprint. He does well. Perez slid in. Jamal Lewis kept his feet. Now Cantwell in the he's lost the ball between his own feet in the penalty area. He tries a step over and he lost it. Teti tries a follow-up shot and that's deflected out for a corner. A late corner in this first half for Norwich.
Yeah, it was good play there from Norwich. I mean, Cantwell did lose the ball inside the box there. He tried to do a little trick, gets the ball caught under his foot, and they try and clear.
Teti takes the corner quickly. Duda backheels it to him. Teti almost casual left-footed cross attempt, and Jose Perez heads it out for a Norwich City throw, and we're about to slip into stoppages here at the end of a first half which has been short on goal-mouth action. They've both had little half chances really. Leicester with more of the opportunities. Tim Krul has done well when called upon in the Norwich City goal. Fourth official has got the board out. Just the 1 minute to be added on for stoppages here ahead of half-time. Soyuncu to Chilwell as Leicester trying to play their way out of trouble. They should have just cleared it. It's been won back by Buendia, and Buendia then fouled by Chilwell. And a free kick to Norwich. They are going to get one last chance here in this first half.
Yeah, crucial moment. This could be a game changer for Norwich just before half-time. Get the delivery right, get into the box, beat that first man and get some runners onto it.
It is 0-0 at Carrow Road, and this is an opportunity. If Buendia can provide a quality ball into the penalty area, can Norwich get someone on the end of it, and could they take a half-time lead into the dressing rooms tonight? Right, Buendia is taking his time over this. This will more than likely be the last action of the first half. It's right up near the sideline, right hand side as Norwich come forward. It's level with the edge of the penalty area. Buendia whips it in, headed at the front post by Iheanacho. Chowdhury should be able to clear from a right full back position, and he's very composed. He does a little Cruyff turn, and there's the whistle for the break. So the goalkeepers have done what they needed to do when called upon, and it's frankly, Max Roger, a game that needs a goal.
It certainly does, yeah. I mean, listen, we've said it again, Norwich are a team, they want to have a lot of possession, they play some really good stuff, just missing that final end product, that more of a penetration, that quicker, lift a bit more of a tempo. And every time Leicester do get the ball, they do look dangerous because they have got that extra tempo, and they are more direct, and they've got far more runners running forward and trying to get in the box and cause Norwich problems. Well,
Leicester had 12 shots in that first half, only 3 of them were on target. Half-time at Carrow Road, Norwich 0, Leicester 0. Thanks very much. Speaking of Delia, the soup was very nice at half-time. Bit of mushroom soup at Carrow Road, which is just what's needed on a cold February evening. We're ready to get back underway here for the second half. No changes in personnel. It is a game that needs a goal. Norwich hoping that there's some sort of miraculous great escape on the cards and that they can string a few wins together and get to stay in the Premier League for next season, but boy, they're running out of time. And Leicester looking to shore up that Champions League spot, trying to score the goals in the absence of Jamie Vardy tonight. And an early free kick for a foul on Cantwell. Cantwell against Pereira has been one of the battles of the night so far.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, he's causing Pereira some trouble, but Pereira's, he's a very good player, very good defender, and I think the fact that Cantwell is a danger to Leicester going forward, it's restricted Pereira a little bit, and he's had to do that defensive side of the game a little bit more than probably what he would like.
Reminder of the teams then: Tim Krul, the Dutch goalkeeper for Norwich, behind a back four of Max Aarons, Grant Hanley, Ben Godfrey and Jamal Lewis. In midfield, Tetty and McLean are holding, Duda's pushing on, Buendia and Cantwell on the flanks effectively, and particularly Cantwell on the left. Buendia's got a bit more of a free role, and then Teemu Pukki is the main striker up front. For Leicester, in the absence of Jamie Vardy, their team: Kasper Schmeichel in goal, back four Pereira, Evans, Soyuncu and Chilwell. In midfield, it's Pratt and Chowdhury and Maddison, and then there's a rotating front three: Jose Perez, Kelechi Iheanacho and Harvey Barnes, who has scored against Norwich on each of his previous two visits here to Carrow Road. Most recently he scored for West Brom here last season of the Championship. Pukki's offside. Thought there he might have had a sprint on Soyuncu. Flag is raised on the far side. Free kick to Leicester.
I think Soyuncu was pretty sure that he was offside there, because he just sort of kind of jogged towards the ball, and all of a sudden he found Pukki overtaking him and winning the race to the ball. The linesman then was very quick to put his flag up.
Soyuncu, who has started all but one of Leicester's Premier League games so far this season. This is Chowdhury on the halfway line, turns and rolls it back to Johnny Evans. Leicester wearing the blue shirts, white shorts, blue socks, playing from left to right as we look down. Norwich in their canary yellow and green. Here's the Iheanacho on the edge of the penalty area. Good challenge from Hanley, good strong robust challenge. Teddy, though a bit casual, gives it to Pratt. Leicester have it. The space out on the left hand side for Chilwell here. He's only just outside the penalty area. Low ball into Barnes, one touch to control, then he tried to shoot, and Hanley is across to deflect it out for a corner.
Yeah, that man Mountain Hanley is there again, right in the right position, makes the big block and alleviates the danger that Leicester were causing there, because it's all about turn of pace. The minute they win the ball, it's a quick ball forward and it catches Norwich out.
So a corner for Brendan Rodgers' team. James Maddison has taken all the corners. A lot of them in the first half he played short, or he played to the edge of the penalty area, but this one is hoisted into the box and well held high above his head by Tim Krul. Good goalkeeping.
Yeah, it was. Come out, take that ball, big commanding in your 18-yard box, and he did that.
Long booming clearance down the other end. Schmeichel thinks about coming. Aarons was the one sprinting after it for Norwich. Those two collide into each other. Aarons is appealing. He's been fouled by Schmeichel there. I have to say, it didn't look like an intentional foul at the time. Referee Craig Paulson waves play on. Aarons picks himself up. Yeah,
it all came about because the uncertainty there. Undecided whether he should come out or not, Kasper Schmeichel. The ball was his from right in the off. And he just waited and waited, dropped deeper and deeper until the point where he realised he had to come for it. And in the end, almost gave the ball straight away to Aarons there.
This is Pratt on the halfway line, sending it up over the top for Iheanacho to chase after. Oh, he's done well here against Godfrey, and a great shot from Iheanacho to the bottom corner of the left. Oh, I think Ben Godfrey's made a mistake there. Iheanacho pounces upon it, and right at the start of the second half, less than 4 minutes since the restart, Leicester City take the lead at Carrow Road. It's Iheanacho.
Yeah, it was good play from Iheanacho. He chases the ball down, doesn't give up. Godfrey, yes, gets in the right position. They're just checking to see on
is there a handball?
Yeah, looks like there could have been. It could have touched potentially off Iheanacho's hand there. We're watching it again. Remember, as it bounces.
There cannot be an accidental handball in the build-up to a goal. I mentioned how Godfrey just seemed a little bit all at sea as the ball bounced between the two of them. As it did come down, it brushes against the wrist of Kelechi Iheanacho. He'll be disappointed if this is choked off, because it's a great finish, but it hits his hand. There's no way in the current rules that that's going to stand. No such thing as unintentional handball. And although Norwich have the ball in the centre spot and they are ready to tee off again, I think this is going to come back. It's got to be a handball.
Yeah, it looks pretty clear it's a handball. I'd be amazed if I don't give this as a handball. They maybe change the rules. We don't know about it.
But the only thing, if it's somehow, and they'll be zooming in with their telescopic lenses, if it's somehow just not actually hit the line. Here we go. Confirmation. No goal. And the cheers from the Norwich fans. And you say that VAR takes the emotion out of football. Like, obviously Leicester disgusted. Look at these seats in the Norwich fans. They thought they were 1-0 down. Now they're the ones celebrating. Ian Acho's goal doesn't count.
Yeah, you can clearly see Brendan Rodgers is not happy either. He's gone straight to the fourth official, shaking his head. But it was clear. It's clear it's a handball.
Well, VAR will get the blame, but it's the rules of football, not the rules of VAR. No handballs allowed in the build-up to a goal. Ian Acho thought that he had got his 9th of the season. We thought we'd had a break in the deadlock here at Carrow Road, but 0-0 it remains. Great strike from Ian Acho, right into the bottom corner. Crew wasn't getting anywhere near it. And Ben Godfrey's probably the most relieved man in all of Norfolk.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. I mean, it was, listen, Ian Acho did really well. He put him under a lot of pressure, used his body well, and almost not shoved Godfrey off the ball, but used his body to sort of guide the ball in his favour. Unfortunately, his hand was involved as well.
Dennis Pratt wins the throw-in for Leicester, attacking position down the right-hand side. Norwich 0, Leicester 0. 5 live from the BBC in the Premier League. This is Soyuncu, back all on his own at the halfway line. And he has got Ben Chilwell outside him wearing the bright red boots, and Chilwell, nothing fancy from inside the Norwich half, turns and gives it all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel, who saved a penalty against Sergio Aguero in the Premier League last weekend. Kasper Schmeichel. Leicester was still beaten though. Gabriel Jesus came off the bench to score for City. Here is Alexander Tettey for Norwich on the halfway line. Under pressure from Maddison, gets away from him, then loses his footing. Leicester regain possession. Maddison, great ball in front of Barnes, and he tries to take it around Hanley, and Hanley's brought it down, and the referee Craig Paulson goes reaching for his pocket. It is a yellow card for Grant Hanley.
Yeah, it's a good defender's free kick there. You can see Harvey Barnes gets around him. Hanley's a bit late, and he just puts his body in front of him, just trying to shield him out of the way. And the referee gives a free kick, and it's a correct decision and a yellow card.
A yellow card for Grant Hanley, who was sent off in the FA Cup last season against Portsmouth. And they tried to take the free kick quickly there, but too quickly, and Craig Paulson is going to make them take it again. James Maddison trying to think outside the box here on his return to Carrow Road. 9 goals he scored this season, Maddison, 6 of them in the Premier League. Last one came on New Year's Day against Newcastle. That was a brilliant goal, that one. Here's a free kick, played into the penalty area, cleared away by Duda, picked up by Ricardo Pereira for Leicester. Norwich have got everyone deep inside their final third. 0-0 on 5 Live on BBC Sounds tonight at Carrow Road. Maddison trying to shrug off the attentions of Duda, gives it to Pratt, who slips and just about recovers his composure to help it onto Chilwell, who's now under pressure from Buendia. Now into Chowdhury. Buendia trips him. Free kick. Free kick to Leicester. Well, Norwich fans aren't happy, but I think that was quite a blatant foul.
Yeah, I think they're a little bit unlucky, to be perfectly honest. I think Chowdhury made the most of it and gets away with it. Norwich, good pressure though.
Here comes Ricardo Pereira down the right-hand side. Norwich fall back into a defensive formation once again. It'll be a Leicester throw. Cantwell putting the ball out. Leicester get on with it. Ricardo Pereira into Jose Perez. And now they try to veer into the penalty area. Good ball from Ricardo Pereira. Trying to pick out Ian Acho. He's tackled just inside the penalty area. Leicester still have it though. Chilwell on the left-hand side. Out to Harvey Barnes, who runs into the penalty area and is tackled by Max Aarons. The loose ball spills for Chilwell. Perez with a header. Oh, he got great power on that, but across the face of goal and wide.
Yeah, it has
really
to get it on target. Yeah, it has to get it on target. Does really well. The timing's perfect. The ball in the box is a really good one at the far post. Godfrey gets done. He's ball watching a little bit, gets stuck underneath it a bit, and Perez jumps up. And I don't think he realises that he's going to have such a free header in the end.
Norwich haven't scored in their last 3 games, and they're still under pressure here at Carrow Road. They thought they had conceded tonight. And the goal chalked off, disallowed for Ian Acho. 0-0 it remains. It's Throw in on the far side for Leicester, the visitors tonight, who have got back-to-back home games coming up. They host Birmingham on Wednesday in the FA Cup. Both these teams still involved in the FA Cup. And then Aston Villa travel to the King Power Stadium the following Monday. 5th round of the FA Cup, which for the first time has been played as all midweek fixtures this time around. So lots of FA Cup games coming up. Tuesday and Wednesday will be right across it all here on 5 Live, and there's games on BBC television as well. Here is Todd Cantwell midway inside the Leicester half, picking up a loose ball. Rolls it out to the left-hand side to Jamal Lewis, who's arrived up from left back. Back in low to Cantwell, who just slid in as he received the ball. Didn't have his feet when the ball came to him. Leicester play it out of trouble. Maddison, maybe a little bit too confident there. He's lost the ball just outside his own penalty area. Kenny McLean, that's a poor pass straight to Harvey Barnes. Chance of a counter-attack for Leicester. Iheanacho's trying to sprint ahead of him. Barnes has got great gas on his own though. Now he gives it to Iheanacho left-hand side. Well, I think Harvey Barnes has got more pace than Iheanacho there. He might have been as well off continuing on his own. As Hanley puts the pressure on Iheanacho. Last touch comes off the Nigerian. And the throw-in, you'd imagine, will be to Norwich. Throw into Norwich on the far side.
Yeah, I tell you what, on that play there where Harvey Barnes gets the ball, runs away, and he's off. He's through as he is attacking the Leicester defence. Kenny McLean, last-ditch effort. I tell you what, he just goes. He's blatantly trying to clip the back of his legs. The referee actually has a word with him. Had he have had contact there, it could have been pretty nasty.
He has pace to burn, Harvey Barnes. He wouldn't look out of place at Cheltenham next week. That was seriously athletic stuff as he burned his way over the halfway line. But still 0-0 it remains here. We await the deadlock at Carrow Road. Reminder, commentary tomorrow 3 o'clock on 5 Live. West Ham against Southampton. Ian Dennis and Tony Pulis, your commentary team. We've got Everton against Manchester United in the Premier League on Sunday, and we will bring you live commentary of the League Cup final, Aston Villa against Manchester City from Wembley, 4:30 on Sunday here on 5 Live. As Soyuncu under a bit of pressure for Pukki. Pukki's seen so little of the ball tonight. Leicester get it away. Via Schmeichel up towards the halfway line, flicked on by Perez. One back by McLean for Norwich. Lewis into Duda. That's a nice little back heel. McLean over the top. And Lewis, I think he thought he was offside there. He didn't even try to get after it. I don't know if he'd have got there anyway. That was quite firmly struck the pass, but it carries through and out for a goal kick. And Norwich just aren't threatening Kasper Schmeichel at the moment.
No, they're not. I mean, you know, when we talked about it, it's exactly like in the first half. Whenever Leicester then go forward, they look the more dangerous. They cause Norwich all sorts of problems. They're a lot quicker, a lot more direct. And whenever Norwich then do get the ball finally, it's that final pass, too sloppy, overhit, in behind, and it slows the momentum right down.
It's a long time since Norwich have scored in the Premier League. We've got to go back to January. Here is Ricardo Pereira, the well-timed sliding challenge on Jamal Lewis. And the ball goes out for a throw-in to Norwich, attacking position for them down the left-hand side. Full house at Carrow Road tonight. Still that constant sprinkling of hazy, misty rain. It's not as heavy as it was earlier on today in these parts. Duda here right by the touchline, tries to keep the ball in play, but although it didn't go out for a throw-in, he was in an offside position when he received the ball there. That means it's going to be a free kick to Leicester. Almost an hour played here tonight. If you're just joining our coverage here on 5 Live, Iheanacho's had a goal ruled out. Handball in the build-up by him. And that's been the closest we've had to a break in a deadlock. Schmeichel scrapes some mud out between his boots and hits the free kick high up over the halfway line. Headed down by Lewis, back by Duda, away by Grant Hanley. No mess in there as he clears it away, but he was fouled by Perez. Free kick to Norwich. It's a bit bitty now, isn't it? It's a stop-start game.
It is, yeah. It's a bit messy. No one's really getting hold of the ball. No real control at the moment. It's getting a bit scrappy. Couple of niggly fouls from both sides.
Free kick for Kim Krul. And he sends it over to the far side. That's a great pass right into the instep of Max Aarons, but good tackle by Ben Chilwell to win it back for Leicester once again. Cleared away by Soyuncu for the visitors. Maddison helps it on to Chowdhury. Norwich fans thought the former player would have handled it there. I think it did hit his stomach, to be fair. Soyuncu on the edge of the penalty area has Johnny Evans on his right shoulder, and they look to play their way out of trouble. Ricardo Pereira down the right wing, looking for Iheanacho. Well handled by Godfrey. Norwich get it back. Come on City is the roar from the Norwich City fans. Quite applicable to their visitors as well. This is Teti back into his own penalty area to Tim Krul once more. A lot of Leicester's goals this season have come from corners. Norwich have conceded a lot of goals from corners. I wonder if it could be a set piece that will lead to a break in the deadlock here. This is Godfrey, still inside his own half. On to McLean in the midfield. Forward to Buendia. Now Cantwell. 10 yards outside the penalty area. Lays it off to Duda. Turns. Shoots. Great save, Schmeichel. That's the best passage of play in some time from Norwich. Straight through the middle. Duda's shot heading for the top corner. Schmeichel makes the save and the corner is taken immediately. Cantwell to Buendia. Goes around Jose Perez. Challenged by Ricardo Pereira. Last touch off Buendia. Goal kick to Leicester.
Yeah, the strike on goal comes about because Norwich are more direct, quicker with the passing. Cantwell doesn't dwell on it, passes to Duda, and he has a great shot. Schmeichel's in the right position, and he's expecting to make the save, but it's full stretch above him, and he flicks it over the crossbar.
Good save from Kasper Schmeichel, who's looking for his first clean sheet in 8 games in all competitions. That's the most exertion he's had to apply really in the game so far. Off his feet, diving to his right and landing heavily on the ground, but a good save. Here's Harvey Barnes down the other end for Leicester. He's got Chilwell outside him, to the byline. High cross, too high for Iheanacho. Teti back helping out the defence, wins it in the air for Norwich, and then it's taken away by Duda. Onto Buendia, in front of Max Aarons. Roared on by the Norwich fans to attack. That's a great sprint between him and Pratt catches him late. Free kick to Norwich. It's going to be a yellow card for Dennis Pratt.
Yeah, he was expecting it, wasn't he? It was one of those challenges. He was trying to get back, knew he wasn't going to be able to make it, and he wanted to slow Norwich down, allow his teammates to get back in a position. It's a real team foul, that one. Team yellow card.
Yeah. Norwich trying to keep the pace in the game, trying to attack when they can, but finding it difficult here at home tonight. 0-0 on 5 Live for the BBC. So Norwich commit the numbers forward, they're all up. Even Tim Krul is up at the halfway line. It's going to be Duda to take. He's got both hands raised in the air as a signal to his teammates. McLean is peeled away here at what is the back post from where this free kick is coming, and it's into the middle, too high for Godfrey. Chowdhury's headed straight up in the air. Brave header by Pratt under pressure, and he's fouled by Buendia. It was Brave, he knew the collision was coming there. Buendia is appealing, he was trying to go for the ball, but the free kick has been awarded to Leicester.
Yeah, he was going for the ball. It wasn't intentional, but it was a foul. The referee got it right there. For once there, Norwich get a good ball into the box. They beat the first man, whip it in. Yes, it was hit over, a little bit over here, but I'd rather them overhit it than underhit it. And far too often in this game, they've found that man at the near post, and it's been easy for Leicester to clear. On this occasion, they caused a little bit of a panic in their defence.
Leicester, who've had the third best defence in the Premier League this season, only Liverpool and Sheffield United have conceded fewer goals. Leicester have only conceded 27 times in the Premier League this season. This is Ben Chilwell down the left-hand side, taking on Buendia. Good challenge, Buendia. He's given away a few fouls in this game, but he's working very hard. He thought the throw-in was coming his way there. He can't believe it, the referee's given it the other way. Here is Chowdhury, halfway line for Leicester. Nothing fancy, turns, gives it back to Soyuncu. Still Norwich 0, Leicester 0. Played forward by Madison, that's a glorious ball. In front of Barnes, who'll run at the penalty area here. Shot is low, no power. Easily saved down low at his feet by Tim Krul.
Yeah, again, very direct there from Leicester. When they do go direct, they open Norwich up again. And there's a half a chance at the edge of the box, and in the end, the shot was pretty tame and pretty easy for Tim Krul just to shuffle across and get behind the ball. Chowdhury
for Leicester in front of Perez. McLean comes across and makes the challenge. Referee says Frey tackle. Perez ended up down on the ground. Referee says play on. Godfrey brings it up towards the halfway line. Norwich, are they destined for a point at home tonight if it stays like this? They have the second fewest points of all teams in all 4 divisions of the league this season. Only Stevenage in League 2 are having a worse campaign than Norwich. They would love the 3 points tonight to try and inject some fresh blood into their survival attempt, but not sure a point to be enough here tonight. Yet they've no guarantee of even that. Leicester have shown with that disallowed goal from Iheanacho that they could take the 3 points this evening. Here is Perez, edge of the penalty area, right hand side for Leicester. Dennis Pratt behind him in support. No Tielemans tonight for Leicester, he's on the bench. This is Perez with his back to goal, giving it to Ricardo Pereira. It's a patient build-up from Leicester. Pratt tries to spin into the penalty area. McLean toe pokes it away, but accurately to Cantwell. A very good pass. Cantwell with the long, straggly blonde hair. Back to Jamal Lewis. Swivels away from Chowdhury. Great play. Really good from Jamal Lewis. Now, Pukki will set his team in motion over the halfway line. Leicester sprinting to get back. Here comes Buendia running at the penalty area. Gives it to Duda. Must be straight at Schmeichel. Good save, Kasper Schmeichel, but it was straight at him. What a chance for Leicester. What a chance. So for Norwich, they're going to get a free kick here, Norwich, on the edge of Leicester's penalty area. But I thought that was going to be 1-0, I really did. Yeah, it should have been 1-0. Great play from Norwich. Got numbers forward, they attacked with pace. You can see Kasper Schmeichel's at the edge of the box, and he's actually remonstrating with the referee. It's a clear foul. I don't understand why the discussion's going on, but Norwich, for once, they got numbers forward. They attacked with purpose. Unfortunately, the end product wasn't very good. That was all started by Jamal Lewis at left back, who was under pressure from Chowdhury, but smuggles the ball out of there. And we're seeing replays again. That is the classic. The goal was at his mercy. He just either side of the goalkeeper. It's guaranteed 1-0. He gave Schmeichel a chance to make the save. Change coming for the visitors, and it's Ndidi who's going to be coming on. Wilfred Ndidi into the midfield in place of Chowdhury, who was outdone there in that last passage of play. It's the first appearance since January for Wilfred Ndidi. He's recovered from the knee injury, and he now comes into the midfield for the visitors. Still 0-0 here tonight at Carrow Road. Yeah, it could change the game, this one. Ndidi's a box-to-box player who's more direct. He's got a lot more pace, so it could lift the tempo here, and it's danger man for Norwich right now. A dangerous position. Norwich have got themselves a free kick here just outside the box. This is just on the edge of the D, and Andre Duda, who has yet to score in the Premier League, yet to score for Norwich, he's standing over it. Buendia is standing over it, and McLean as well. Madison is trying to be a nuisance. I think it's going to be Duda. Here he is, right-footed, clips the top of the wall and spins over the crossbar, and Norwich are going to have a corner. Quarter of the match still to go, 0-0. Yeah, it wasn't a strike that I thought would have really tested Kasper Schmeichel. It was good that, the wall was in the right position. They've made the block and it goes over for a corner. But I thought the free kick itself wasn't struck very well. Okay, Todd Cantwell is going to be taken off for Norwich. He's played well tonight. Lucas Rupp, the German, the January signing from Hoffenheim. £425,000, which does seem like pocket change in modern Premier League transfer money. He will come on, having started last time out. Another who's looking for his first goal in a Norwich shirt. So fresh legs on for both teams. Ndidi for Leicester, Lucas Rupp for Norwich, and Norwich have got the corner, which Duda will take. Far side of the pitch from us, in front of the Leicester City fans who are housed in that corner. Outswinging cross headed away by Johnny Evans. Duda will keep it in on the far side, delivers it back in, low and hard, goes through a whole flurry of players, and picked up by Lucas Rupp for his first touch since coming on as a substitute. Left hand side for Norwich in their yellow shirts. Buendia's with him. Interception by Ndidi, he's so good at that. Now he'll try and turn defence into attack. Low ball up to the feet of Iheanacho, who's beaten to it by Jamal Lewis. Ndidi wins it back again. This is what he's been brought into the team to do. Forward it goes towards Jose Perez. Godfrey tries to control, he gets away with it there. He nearly gifted it to Harvey Barnes. Pukki back helping out the defence for Norwich on the home side of possession once again. Mark Swartzer. Yeah, he does it a lot, doesn't he, Timo Pukki? Gets back and helps out his defence, and it's great play from a striker. You love to see that when your fellow teammate, particularly a striker, gets back and puts that work in. However, you just like him to also conserve some energy, get up their end and cause a difference, put the ball in the back of the net, give him something to hold on to. That chance which fell for Duda, Norwich fans will wish it fell for Pukki. His record in front of goal this season and last. Buendia sprays a nice pass here. Norwich aren't playing badly at all at the moment. They have it midway inside the Leicester half. Lewis back to Teddy near the centre circle. Few groans from the home fans there. They wanted the team to go forward. Godfrey sprays it out towards the far side. Good pass. Controlled by Buendia. He's got three up with him. Pookie's waiting in the middle. Buendia takes on Chilwell. This is really good. Hangs in the cross. Lewis up from left back of the back post. Hits it brilliantly. What a goal! Spun into the bottom corner. That is a super strike from Jamal Lewis. What a way to score his first ever league goal. Brilliant, and Norwich lead, and maybe, just maybe, they're not relegated yet.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant finish, wasn't it? You thought the pass was overhit, the cross, and eluded everyone out to the edge of the box, far post, and as it drops, you're thinking, right, what is he going to do? Is he going to whip it in? No, decides to have a shot, hits it with some outside of the ball, got some real swerve in it, starts outside the line of the post and curls back into the far post. Absolutely no chance for Kasper Schmeichel. Absolutely superb strike.
Yeah, what it's like, and he's not as good as, but do you remember that Pavard goal of the World Cup? That was hit first time. Full-back coming forward, joining the attack, smacking it to the far corner. It's like that from Jamal Lewis, except he chested it down first, but then, boy, did he get accuracy and power beyond Schmeichel, and it bent, it curled into that bottom left-hand corner. Delia Smith is on her feet, clapping. Let's be having you, Delia. 1-0 Norwich. Are they to move within 4 points of safety tonight? Could that miraculous recovery still be on?
Yeah, it all came about from that change in play, that change in speed from Norwich when Duda had that chance when he hits it straight down the throat of Kasper Schmeichel. From that moment onwards, Norwich had an extra spring in their step and they made it pay.
Well, if Leicester were to lose here, it could be costly. They are not yet guaranteed their Champions League place next season. They've got a healthy lead, but still a long way to go. And Leicester, well, these are the swings and roundabouts. They thought they led in this first half. Iheanacho's goal disallowed for handball. And now Leicester City find themselves behind. Tielemans has been prepared to come on for the visitors. You've got a free kick here, midway inside the Norwich half. Maddison is standing over it, central location. Too far out to shoot, but he floats it into the penalty area. An important touch by Godfrey in front of Ndidi. And that goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, needed good defending there. Just gets a touch on it, enough on it, and to take it out of Ndidi. Ndidi was lining up, and because he was lining up, as he takes the touch from Godfrey's head, it actually comes off Ndidi's head and goes out for a goal kick.
Wind is up at Carroll Row. Storm that we're expecting this weekend coming in. Here's the change. It's one Belgian for another. Yuri Tielemans replaces Dennis Pratt. So Tielemans, Leicester's record signing. He has started all but one of their Premier League games so far this season before tonight. He will slot into that midfield, and more energy now in the middle with the fresh legs of both Ndidi and Tielemans being introduced by Leicester coach Brendan Rodgers, who's unbeaten in his last 6 meetings with Leicester as a coach. We'll go back to his Liverpool days. Right at the very end of his Liverpool tenure, Norwich held him to a draw at Anfield, and he was sacked very soon after that. But he's not lost against them in some time. And free kick to Leicester on the halfway line. Jamal Lewis, what a time to score his first ever league goal of his career. He did score in the FA Cup last season against Chelsea. That's been his only career goal before tonight. He took that really, really well. So as it stands now in the Premier League, Norwich would move up to 21 points. They would be breathing down the neck of Watford, Watford played Liverpool tomorrow, so they will do well to take anything from that. West Ham in action against Southampton. They are both now within 3 points of Norwich at the bottom. Norwich still with a far inferior goal difference mind. And then Aston Villa, who don't play in the Premier League this weekend because they're in the League Cup at the moment. Villa find themselves 4 points above Norwich. It's not impossible, Mark Schwarzer. We've almost written Norwich off this season, but this could be a turning point moment for them this season. As here come Tielemans into the penalty area down the other end. He ran along the byline there. There seemed no danger initially. He then hooked it back, and it'll be hit low and a deflection, and Pookie should clear away for Norwich. This isn't over yet. Leicester are looking for an equaliser.
Yeah, they are. They're pushing now. They've really shifted up a gear. Norwich are dropping deeper. That's the only concern. As the game goes on, they've got that 1 goal lead. They've got to try and keep up a high line. Try and put more pressure on the ball.
Quarter of an hour to go. Norwich City leading Leicester City here at Carrow Road in a game that has taken a while to take off. It's been stagnant for a long time, but that goal from Jamal Lewis has really electrified things. This is Iheanacho, 10 yards outside the Norwich penalty area, helped out by Ndidi. Tielemans then gives it to the near side to Ricardo Pereira. Good ball back into the middle, but there was a stumble from Iheanacho just as he received the ball to his feet, and he couldn't control it properly, and Norwich briefly get it away, but it is only briefly. Chilwell, cross on the left-hand side, too high for Iheanacho. Perez collided with Jamal Lewis and went down in the penalty area. That was off the ball. The referee says it was accidental. To be fair to Perez, he didn't make a big song and dance about it anyway, and the ball goes out of play for a throw into Norwich. Left full-back position for them. Huge 15 minutes to come here in Norwich City's season.
Yeah, it's a defining moment potentially for Norwich. If they can hold on for 3 points, this could change everything for them. But there's a long 15 minutes to play plus stoppage time.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ifs in this sentence I'm about to say. But if Norwich were to win here, if they go to Tottenham and get a win next weekend, I mean, there could be a point from safety depending on results elsewhere, with Villa not playing this weekend. From a team that have been consigned to the relegation dump in most people's minds for a long time, that's quite remarkable. 1-0 Norwich lead here. Jamal Lewis's goal, but Leicester continuing to look dangerous. Here's Barnes, hits it from outside the penalty area, balloons it way off target, high, wide, not so handsome.
Yeah, it was a bit of a reckless shot there from Leicester, but you know, at Norwich, when they do get the ball, they've got to have an outlet. Timo Pukki, once they got the ball, they tried to play it to him, he got a touch on it, then tried to take on Soyuncu, but lost the ball very, very easily. They need him to get hold of it, they need him to try and milk some time, wind down the clock, win a free kick, slow things down, allow his teammates to move up the pitch more.
Jamal Lewis's goal, a player who's only back in the team because of injury to Sam Byram. Lewis came back in against Wolves last weekend. He had missed, 10 or 11 games before that. Byram had been preferred, but boy, he's made his place count tonight. Here come Norwich again. Duda with good feet on the edge of the penalty area. Can't hold on to possession though. Groans from the Norwich fans as Leicester get it back again. These are going to be a long 15 minutes. Here comes Chilwell, up to the halfway line. Norwich try to fall back into a defensive formation. It's an ambitious crossfield ball from Chilwell. Perez is going to sprint. I don't think he'll get there. And the ball just held up, and Jamal Lewis challenges Perez, and both the Leicester man and the ball fall off the pitch, but it'll be a throw-in to Norwich. Another change coming for Leicester. Mark Albrighton, one of their league winners from a few seasons back, he's going to come on, and it'll be Jose Perez who he will replace. So the Spaniard goes off, and Albrighton, former Aston Villa man, will come on against Norwich. 5th time he's played against them in his career. He's never been on the losing side against Norwich. Can he help to turn things around here? 12 and a half minutes remaining, plus the stoppages, of course. Tete, left-footed clearance away after a collision involving Maddison on the edge of the Norwich City penalty area. Referee says there was no foul. Wind increasing in weight all the time here. Was that your team sheet? Mark Sorch's team sheet just flew off like a kite. Here's Albrighton, good cross from the right-hand side. That's what he's been brought on to do, but it bounces once, and a duck by Max Aarons as he allowed it swooped under. And we'll try and get Mark another team sheet so we know who's playing. Right, ball goes out of play on the far side, and a big cheer because the throw-in has been given to the home team, Norwich. The clock ticks on slowly, 12 minutes to go. Fresh legs being prepared by the home side as well. Joseph Dirmich has been prepared to come on. So a throw-in for Leicester this time, down towards Tielemans, goes straight out of play again, and that will be take 2. They're kind of stuck in that corner at the moment. Dirmich is waiting to come on. And now inside the Norwich penalty area, Iheanacho controls it, walloped away by Max Aarons. Anywhere will do for Norwich now, just get it away, get it down the other end. I don't think they're too concerned about adding to this lead. If they can hold on for a 1-0 win, that would be absolutely huge. Just 4 wins all season for Norwich. And they've got to try and keep Leicester out. A Jamie Vardy-less Leicester tonight. Ball hooked away by McLean, over his shoulder. Pukki will sprint here, Soyuncu's got a big head start on him. Comfortably gets there first. Gives it out into space for Chilwell on the far side. Leicester not panicking here. They're trusting their system and method. They believe that they can work their way back into this. Here is Albrighton. Brendan Rodgers has made his 3 changes now. Another of those subs. Tielemans waiting on the edge of the penalty area here. And now Chilwell on the left-hand side gives it on to Barnes. They're spreading the play here, Leicester. They're trying to stretch out this Norwich defence from one wing to another. Barnes onto his right boot. Tielemans behind him. Right-footed cross, headed away by Hanley. Good, strong defender's header. And now Max Aarons gets the chance to clear, and he pumps it off Tielemans and out for a goal kick. That was very good defending.
Yeah, they're going to work hard now, Norwich. These last sort of 10 minutes or so of this game, they're going to really put it in. It's going to be hard, but they're going to have to fight for their lives. They're going to have any chance to stay in this Premier League. They need to pick up 3 points.
Right, any semblance of attack now is being sacrificed off with Pukki being taken off for Norwich. Joseph Dermott will come on to run those front lines. Yet to start a game this season, but this is the 12th time he's come on as a substitute. Also came on as a sub at Wolves last Sunday. He's only scored once in the Premier League, Joseph Dermott, against Aston Villa in October. He is the fresh legs up front now. High fives all round for Pukki from his colleagues on the bench. They're almost there, Norwich. They have got 9 minutes plus the stoppages to go. Jamal Lewis, over 80 league appearances in his young career, and he's finally got his first league goal. And what an important one it could be. And there'll just be a little twitch for the likes of Villa, Bournemouth, and maybe even Brighton. They're thinking, we thought Norwich were consigned to being out of this survival battle. Maybe they're back in it. Throw it for Max Aarons on the far side. Gives it in front of Dermot, beaten to it by Soyuncu, who's picked up a knock. Free kick to Leicester, just outside their own penalty area.
Yeah, strange how slow the linesman was to react. It was only until Sunchai actually complained and held onto his leg that the linesman raised his flag.
This will be quite something if Norwich City can hang on here in front of their enthusiastic home support. Been quite a while since they've had something to celebrate. Here is Harvey Barnes. Leicester not out of it yet, supported by Maddison. He'd love a goal back at his old alma mater. Now Ricardo Pereira. That's a really, I thought it was a good ball, but there was no one there to run onto it. Albrighton hadn't made the run, and it harmlessly goes out for a goal kick to Leicester, and they will take their time over this.
Yeah, I think he was looking for Iheanacho to make that run. He was, because Albrighton weaved around towards the touchline. Iheanacho came across, but actually just stood there and stood behind the defender. And Pereira hoping he was going to make that run down into the 8-yard box, but he just stood still when the ball goes out, and it's easy for Norwich. They can regroup again and push up and try and win this ball on a goal kick.
Norwich's last home win here was against Bournemouth in January in the Premier League. And then before that, you've got to go all the way back to September and the 3-2 win over Manchester City. So they have had precious little to celebrate, these Norwich City fans watching their own team. And the ball was put out of play just down below us, and Brendan Rodgers doesn't look very happy. Hands in his pockets as Ricardo takes the throw in for Leicester. Leicester, for all their possession since going 1-0 down, is struggling to create actual shooting opportunities. Just joining our coverage in 5 Live, Iheanacho a goal disallowed for handball. Jamal Lewis has scored for Norwich, who could be moving to within 4 points of safety in the Premier League from their current position of being 7 points adrift. Ricardo Pereira again on the halfway line. Back to Barnes. Over to Soyuncu. This is all in the Leicester half, and Norwich are happy to leave them have it there. There's no real pressure. Soyuncu now comes over the halfway line, gives it out to Chilwell. That's a good burst. Buendia sprinting to get back and keep with him. Catches up with Chilwell, who's going to cut back at himself. Tielemans back to Chilwell. Soyuncu on to Evans, still in the central third here, Leicester. 11 men back behind the ball for Norwich. Maddison gives it on to Albrighton. Ricardo Pereira on the right hand side. And Norwich are working very hard here. They can see the 3 points right out the front window here. Barnes just outside the penalty area to Ndidi, 15 yards outside the box. Right hand side is Albrighton. Tries to take a touch around Lewis. Good ball in towards the far post, just a little bit too high. There's a tangle of players, but there's no foul on Barnes. And it's a goal kick to Norwich once again. The clock ticks on. Just over 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, it was a good ball in the box from Michael Albrighton there. He looks to hit it with his right foot, dummies, comes back onto his left and whips it in. And I tell you what, Max Aarons does really well that far post there. Makes himself a nuisance, jumps up for the ball, prevents the free run onto a header from one of the Leicester players, and it goes out for a goal kick.
Norwich City 1, Leicester 0. Leicester third in the Premier League. And I was saying earlier on about how they've got to shore up this Champions League spot, and they do have a good healthy lead. However, you look at the recent form, if they were to lose here tonight, they lost to Manchester City last time, they drew at Wolves, they drew at Chelsea, they were beaten by Burnley, they were beaten by Southampton. This is all since mid-January. The really good run of form that Leicester had in the build-up to Christmas, that has deserted them, and it has coincided with a barren patch for Jamie Vardy, who hasn't scored in his last 9. And no Vardy at all tonight for Leicester. And there's almost a hushed silence now around Carrow Road. The enormity of this beginning to dawn on the Norwich supporters. Daniel Farke is biting his fingernails. I think that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, it's very tense here, isn't it? Norwich are fighting for their lives. Leicester at the moment have got possession, but they're doing very little with it. They're still trying to work the ball around, trying to catch Norwich out of position.
This feels absolutely huge. It does. It just feels that this could be their whole season for Norwich. And all the work they've put in, all the miles they've travelled. If they can get a win here, they will give themselves a shout, a chance going into these final, 10 games of the season. A chance to stay up. It has been done before. Just ask Leicester, because they were in a worse position than Norwich are now when they stayed up under Nigel Pearson back the season before they won the title. Goal kick to Norwich, Krul taking his time, and there is a nervous anticipation around Carrow Road. There's about 28,000 people in here, and yet it is hush at the moment. Sub coming for Norwich. More fresh legs are coming on. Duda is going to come off. He's done okay tonight. And coming on to replace it, Marco Stiepermann, another of the German contingent at Carrow Road. He's been a regular in the team all season. Duda slowly walks off as Norwich try to eat up every second here.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You're holding on to this lead. You've got 4 or 5 minutes to go plus stoppage time. You've got to slow the game down as much as possible. Kasper Schmeichel's remonstrating with the referee and gets a yellow card because he was told to go back in but wouldn't listen and kept going and going. The referee had no choice but to give him a yellow card. But Norwich, you've got to keep fighting. You've got to keep those banks of 4 there. Don't dive in. Don't give away possession in bad areas.
The clock ticks on, and we have got 2.5 minutes to play here. Norwich, who have led since the 70th minute. Jamal Lewis's excellent strike. That's one of the best goals Norwich have scored all season in terms of a clean strike. Spun in to the bottom far corner. Ricardo Pereira here for Leicester gives it into Tillemans. Have Leicester City got a late equaliser in them that would break Norwich hearts tonight here on 5 Live. As Harvey Barnes picks it up on the left wing, Buendia clatters into him. That's a really good tackle from a so-called flair player, from a playmaker. He rattled into the tackle there on Barnes, and he won possession back for his team.
Yeah, the problem was they gave the ball away too easily afterwards.
Yeah.
Got to keep hold of it.
That's the problem for Norwich. As Albrighton comes forward now into Iheanacho. Now Maddison steps into the penalty area. No room to shoot. Tries to give it back to Ricardo Pereira. And Rupp, who's back there, helps to clear it away. But again, the same problem. Ball retention. Johnny Evans is fouled for Leicester. He wants to take the free kick quickly. Gives it out to Albrighton. Norwich haven't set yet. Here comes the cross from the right-hand side. Chilwell, it's taken away from him by Buendia. Buendia looks exhausted down there, and he's still running hard as he puts pressure on Chilwell once again. 88 minutes, 35 seconds on the big stadium clock. Evans is caught by Stiepermann. Look to foul. Referee is waving on advantage because Leicester still have possession. Evans gets slowly back to his feet. Ricardo Pereira has it. Now Maddison over into space to Chilwell. And tonight, when Leicester have had a lot of chances, they've had the ball in the back of the net once, but are they to leave here empty-handed tonight? Buendia wins it back again. He's been the man of the match in the last 10-15 minutes. Gives it on to Stiepermann. Oh, he's got to look up here. Play the pass. Oh, it's poor behind Rupp. What an opportunity for Norwich. Stiepermann was daydreaming, but now they come again. And this is Dermich. Left foot saved by Schmeichel. Norwich looking for the second that could kill it off. Kasper Schmeichel makes a good save.
Yeah, just that ball, that final pass, just in behind the run of Sibelman. If it had been right in front of him, he was a clear run on goal. Would have been one-on-one with Kasper Schmeichel, and it could have been 2-0 to Norwich. But instead, they're back, they're defending, and they're trying to hold on.
Can Norwich get what would only be their 4th win in the Premier League this season? Listen to the noise now at Carrow Road. They have gotten over their quiet, nervous spell, and they found their voices again as we slip into stoppage time here. 4th official about to raise the board. There's not a peep out of the Leicester fans. They've gone all quiet. 5 minutes to be added on. That'll rise them from their slumber. 5 minutes for Leicester to try and get an equaliser. This is going to be a thrilling finish now. Johnny Evans rolls it in front of Soyuncu. Leicester playing left to right as we look down in blue. Soyuncu's allowed to get within 15 yards of the penalty area. He's got Chilwell outside him. Leicester right in the faces of Norwich here, trying to come on the attack. Ndidi back out to Chilwell. Can they provide a decent delivery into that penalty area? Chilwell on his less favoured right boot hangs it in. Arriving is Albrighton, but he won't get there, and the Norwich fans cheer, and it's a goal kick to Tim Krul, and it's 1-0 to Norwich.
Yeah, that's always difficult as a player. You see the 90 minutes go up, you look to the 4th official, and that big 5 minutes comes up, and you know, okay, you know you're reaching towards the end, but you've got a long 5 minutes ahead of you, and every one of those minutes is going to feel like an eternity. They've got to dig in. They've got to keep doing what they're doing, keep working hard, get back into position, get those 2 banks of forward. The front 2 are going to work. Everyone's going to work their socks off.
Krul has taken as long as he dares over the goal kick. Every second counts now for Norwich. Their Premier League livelihood on the line here. Is this to be a huge turning point in their season? Is this to be the night they go within 4 points of safety and give themselves a chance going into the last 10 games? Evans heads it away. Teddy head tennis inside the centre circle. Dermot turns, runs into Chilwell. Chilwell obstructed him. Free kick to Norwich. They'll take their time over this as well.
Yeah, it's better for Norwich up front there. Dermot did really well. Get hold of the ball. Keep the ball. If you're going to keep the ball, get your body right in between you and the defender. And if you, at the very worst case scenario, you get the foul, and he did get that. Ben Chilwell, Leicester are getting a bit desperate now, and they're trying to win the ball back at all costs.
Right, we've already played half of the 5 minutes being added on. And Leicester get the throw in down below us, and Norwich fans in front of us are furious about that. They thought it was going to be a free kick for them. Leicester have possession, but they are down the wrong end of the pitch from where they want to be. Jamal Lewis's goal with 20 minutes of normal time to play separates the teams. Iheanacho's goal ruled out earlier. If you're just joining our coverage here on 5 Live, it's a game that was a slow burner, but you can't take your eyes off it now. It's stoppage time right at the very end. Schmeichel's made some good saves, but he's been beaten once. Here's Buendia, runs into Albrighton, picks his pocket, plays it out to Barnes. Good win back by Aarons to briefly hold up Leicester. Chilwell now, still inside his own half, goes long, pumped towards Iheanacho. Hanley stands firm. Iheanacho does well to brush him off, but he fouled him. He backed into Hanley. Free kick is given to Norwich.
Yeah, the referee's right there. What Iheanacho did was he actually didn't look at the ball, just lined himself up with Hanley there, put his arm into him, and then turned, and the ball was there. The referee got it right.
They're almost there. Some spectators are heading towards the exits, but then they lurk around the top of the steps, so they want to get a glimpse of the final stages here. Norwich City, a season that has held so many disappointments at so many times, so many long journeys home after defeat. Is this to be a short journey home, celebrating a victory for only the 5th time in the campaign? Pressure about to be applied, the other strugglers in the top flight, because Norwich have shown tonight that they are not giving up. Free kick to Norwich. Attacking position for them. Leicester pinned back here. Their goose looks cooked to the moment.
Yeah, that's wrong end of the pitch for Leicester. Norwich done really well. They've pushed forward and they've actually put pressure on Leicester. They've tried to win the ball, try to keep the ball in their own, in Leicester's half, keep it as far away as possible from their goal, and they're doing a really good job of it at the moment. Leicester look beaten at this stage.
Yeah, they do. They've missed Vardy tonight. Smiles all round for these Norwich fans, and that's what football does to you. You know, they've been bottom of the table since Boxing Day. They have been whipping boys on so many occasions, and yet look around, smiling Norwich fans, all happy now. Can they hold on for this win? Buendia takes the free kick into the penalty area. Rupp is beaten to it. Chance for Dermot, heads it straight to Schmeichel. Leicester have got the ball back now. They've less than a minute here. Schmeichel pulls it out low to Tielemans. Direct ball straight up the field. Norwich are going to get back. Looks like a handball from Maddison. Play on, says the referee. Maddison didn't control it. Anyway, McLean has it for Norwich. Just hold on to possession. Norwich fans shouting at him. Stiepermann gets it. Back into Buendia. Leicester do look a beaten team now. Soyuncu, all he could do is put it out for a throw in. What a funny old game football is. Norwich have got this with a bit of their teeth.
Yeah, Buendia's been immense for Norwich, hasn't he, in this game. Not only in this second half, where he's really worked hard. He's been in the middle of everything. First half as well, he's been such an influential player, but he's also put the work rate in. He's been excellent.
The whistles from the Norwich fans, matched by the whistle from referee Craig Pawson. This is one of the moments of the season for Norwich. Their great campaign last year when they came up as winners of the championship. They always knew it was going to be tricky. After a bright start, when they looked to be really taking to life well in the Premier League, they've endured a torrid last 6 months, and yet this win gives Norwich City hope, and hope in football can be the most valuable commodity at times. Jamal Lewis, what a time to score his first ever league goal. Delia Smith has got a yellow and green flag out, and she's waving it in the air. Good times are rolling for Norwich. Who'd have thought it? They are still bottom, but don't tell that to them. Norwich City fans delighted here, Darren. They've beaten Leicester 1-0.